Number one thing we have to do is get confidence. A lot of people will not do it because they don't have any self-worth. They don't have any confidence inside themselves. They don't like themselves very much. And the crazy part is a lot of it's subconscious, which means below awareness. Like conscious is awareness, right? Subconscious is below awareness, which means you don't think you're worth it and you're not even aware of it. But every choice you make, decision you do throughout the days literally equals the sum of your value. Hey, I appreciate you guys having me. Monster Nation is my favorite one only because of the name Monster Nation, because I believe anybody that wants to really, kick it in life big has to become a monster. And there's a lot of people that won't do it for one reason or another. I don't know why. I also believe the media is full of shit. And I think a lot of us are watching the media and we're believing this recession crap and we're believing this inflation shit and we're getting all nervous and we're getting all scared. And then we ask everybody, what do we do? And basically all it does is cause you to stop. When I was 7 years old, maybe 8 years old, my dad and I are driving to the mall. Eugene, Oregon, Valley River Center. Right to the left is this nice hotel called the Valley River Inn. So we're driving there, and Elvis Presley was supposed to be in town doing a concert. So I tell my dad, if Elvis is in town, he's going to be at this hotel because it's the nicest hotel in town. So we're driving by, and we see all this commotion at the hotel. So my dad pulls over, rolls down his window, and asks somebody, what's going on? Someone says, Elvis is in town. And so I'm like, Dad, I want to meet him. I want to meet Elvis. So he pulls in the car, we walk in, and then there's this big old hallway, and there's these guards stopping everybody. So there's this big old crowd forming, and everybody's just stopped right here at the entrance to this big hallway, about as big as that right there is about the big as the hallway was. And everybody was stopped. And so I'm walking in, my dad stops. I said, well, let's go. And he says, we can't. I said, why? He says, they're stopping us. And then when I looked over, all I saw were openings through the legs. And I saw all the way down where I wanted to go. So I let go of his hand and boom, beelined it right through the legs, right past the guards, right down to the big opening of the doorways where the suite was. And the doors open and out walks Elvis, pats me on the head and says, how you doing, little man? And then turns right and heads on down the hallway. And everybody on the other side's freaking out. Oh, I'm so lucky, I'm so lucky. But see, and this is what we got to do in business. I think most people are focusing on the challenges and the obstacles when you need to shift your perspective and realize that wherever there's an obstacle, there is an opportunity. So when I looked over there as a little kid, not knowing any better, I haven't been domesticated, I wasn't watching the media, I wasn't listening to the news and the parents and all the nonsense. I just saw openings. What's the difference? It was the same scenario for everybody. Now, some people could say, well, a grown man couldn't have done that. See, that's the problem. We think we can't do something. And that's where it goes, haywire. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm talking about. I might drop those once in a while if I want you to extra pay attention. Because what I like to do, people say I'm real, and I'm not necessarily real. I just keep shit simple because it's not complicated. The biggest lie I believe that was ever told is it's not that simple. Because it is that simple. Like, who wants to grow their business? Okay, I'm going to tell you exactly how to grow your business. Okay, it's relationships. Relationships is how you grow your business. Relationships is the key. If you met 5 or 10 new people every single day, you would know thousands of people by the end of the year. More than you do now. And if you knew more people than you do now, you'd have more than you have now. Who agrees? Can I get an amen? Amen. This used to be a church? Did it? All right, so we'll use amen then. So, that's how simple it is. But yet, we don't get up every day and go make new introductions, new relationships. How many people do you meet every day? New, not the same people you know. If you already know them, you can nurture that relationship. That's important. But you want to make new relationships. You got to form new relationships. That's how easy it is. Like here, everybody, when we come to these things, we always want to meet the speakers. We always want to meet whoever was up here. When I come to these things, I want to meet everybody that's out there. Because number one, there's more of you. Number two, Each and every single one of you have money for me. Where do you think money comes from? Relationships. Period. Money grows in other people's pockets. You want some? You got to meet some. So how come every single day we're not waking up and in our mind intentionally going out and meeting new people? Can anybody answer that? Because that's how simple it actually is. You want to double your business? Do that starting today. Introduce yourself to 5 or 10 new people that you don't know and start to build a relationship. Now, how do you build a relationship? You number one, you introduce yourself, and then you provide value. Most people, they start off a relationship asking for value. I can't tell you how many people DM me and they say to me, dude, how can I bring you value? Now, if I told them that, that's valuable. So what did he do? They're asking me for value before they give me any value. Hey, how do I become valuable to you? That's value. I'm asking you for value. You don't ask people for value until you give value. Make sense? So don't ask people, what can I do for you? Just make some assumptions. We all get taught, don't make assumptions, otherwise you make an ass out of you and me, right? That's bullshit. Okay, I assume stuff all the time, and I assume we're going to be friends, and I assume you need more money, and I assume you'd like more time, and I'd assume you'd like more of everything. Would that be a fair assumption? So when you walk up to somebody, just assume they want more money, because everybody does. And if they don't, they're lying to you. Well, maybe not Chuck, because he's got enough. But most people want more money. So again, you don't have to ask, how do I provide value? Give me some money. Give me some referrals. Give me some attention. Because when it boils down to it, all you really need, right, to double your business, quadruple your business are relationships, confidence. Confidence is the key. Relationships, confidence, the ability to persuade, influence, sell, which is basically a personal brand. If you build a personal brand, it's amazing. It took me 20 years to build an 8-figure company, and in the last 6 months, I've built another 2 so far. In 6 months, they're worth over 8 figures each, and I've got 4 more right behind them, launching them right now. All of them, by the way, will be called something real, just because it sounds cool, right? And besides, like solar panels, for example. If you're going to buy solar panels, wouldn't you want them to be real? So everything's real, but I just keep dropping another one, and bam, boom, 8 figures, boom, 8 figures, boom, 8 figures. And the reason is 100% the personal brand I've built. So all you have to do is build a personal brand. Now the question is how do we build a personal brand? Now it's going to go back to confidence. Because a lot of people, we think we have confidence, but we don't really have confidence. And to me, you walk into a room and you're worried. Like someone earlier came up and said, hey, I told my son I met you, and where is she at? She was around here somewhere. There she is. She said, but I said I was too afraid to take a picture. Why would you be afraid to take a picture of somebody? Why would you be afraid to walk up to somebody and introduce yourself? There's only one reason. Because you don't have enough belief or self-worth in yourself that you think this person's better than you. And I can tell you right now, folks, nobody's better than you. They might be ahead of you, but they're not better than you, okay? So just remember that as you're approaching people, because again, it doesn't matter who they are, they're just regular people. Just regular people. So by the time I'm done here, I don't know how much time I have, but hopefully I'll get you to do a couple things. Number one, get a little more confidence in yourself. Number two, understand how simple it is to actually grow a business, okay? And number three, I really hope that you raise your self-worth. Because everybody here, if they want to raise their net worth, simply needs to raise their self-worth. It's that simple. I had a guy one time, he ultimately wanted me to coach him. I said, I don't really coach people, because I don't coach people. I leave that to coach. You know, he's like, yeah, I need you to coach me. I said, I don't coach. He said, I'll give you $100,000. I said, when do you want to start? So I said, so what do you do? You know, he basically told me in a nutshell that sets appointments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then he closes on Thursday and Friday, and he makes about $700,000 a year, which is pretty respectable. So I said, well, let me ask you a question. How do you make your money? He said, well, what are you talking about? I just told you, I set appointments Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. So you get paid when you set an appointment? He said, no. I said, how do you get paid? He said, when I close a deal. I said, so what you want to do, because again, this is rocket science. What you want to do then is you want to just do that more often. See what I'm saying? You want to do more of that. And he's like, oh, no shit. And I'm like, yeah, well, what's stopping you? He said, well, I got to make appointments in order to close them. I said, well, why do you have to make appointments? Can't you hire somebody to make an appointment? Can't you hire a virtual assistant that are literally $100 a week to make your appointments? And you saw his face turn ghost white, like he's never thought of that before. So he hired a couple virtual assistants to start making appointments, and he went from $700,000 to like $2.6 million in a year, because he just did more of what was working and did less of what was not. So there's income producing activities, and then there's non-income producing activities. And if you audit your day as you go through your day, you start to realize you do a lot of shit that doesn't make any money. You're not meeting new people. You're not doing the things that literally blow up your business. Who here is building a personal brand? Anybody? Okay, so building a personal brand I can help with, because over the last 4 years I've kind of built one. I think it's a little mini one. A lot of people are saying, it's the fastest growing. And I guess according to Social Blade and these little softwares that I just started looking at, it is growing pretty rapidly. But I think it's because people are hungry for the truth. People are hungry for authenticity. People are tired of the nonsense. And in order to build a personal brand, I'll give you the 5 things that I do. Number 1 is the source. You got to have the source. Then you got to have creative. Then you got to have the outlets. Then you got to have the frequency. And then the 5th and final one is boost. And I'll break all those down for you. But ultimately, if you build that personal brand, you're going to double, quadruple your business. You're going to be able to open more businesses at the drop of a hat. Like, everything you do becomes valuable. You get deal flow. I call it deal flow. Most people will call it deal flow. That's where you basically get hit up all the time by many different people. Like, my accountant called me this morning. She said, Brad, what's this for? What's this for? What's this for? I said, well, that's a speech. That's a speech. That's a speech. She said, well, you were getting $25,000. Now you're getting $50,000. I said, yeah. She goes, what changed? I said, the price. That's the only thing that changed. I started preaching, you got to have more value for yourself. So when someone called me one day, they said, what do you charge for speaking? I said, $50,000. And I just made that shit up. They said, okay, boom, $50,000. So I've made over $1 million so far this year. It's not even the end of the year. I've made over $1 million just doing this. It's unbelievable. And why? It's not because of what I say so genius and everybody's just miraculously telling everybody after we get off stage how great I was and everyone should hire me. It's because of the brand. People are starting to see that brand. They assume I'm a celebrity. And because of that celebrity, everybody wants to get to know you. Everybody starts offering you deals, equity in companies. It's unbelievable. So how do we build that? Number 1 thing we have to do is get confidence. A lot of people will not do it because they don't have any self-worth. They don't have any confidence inside themselves. They don't like themselves very much. And the crazy part is a lot of it's subconscious, which means below awareness. Like, conscious is awareness, right? Subconscious is below awareness, which means you don't think you're worth it and you're not even aware of it. But every choice you make, decision you do throughout the days literally equals the sum of your value. So if you just raise your self-worth, believe it or not, you'll raise your net worth. If everybody here just said, I'm going to double my prices, that's all I'm going to do when I leave this conference. I'm going to double my prices. And you don't do anything about it. In other words, you don't do anything more special. You don't believe anything special. You don't do anything extra. It probably won't work. But if you say, I'm going to double my prices because I'm worth more, and you start thinking about why are you worth more, and you start focusing on just doubling your prices, I'll bet you end up with double the money by the end of the year. A lot of people are afraid. You know what they'll think? Well, no, then no one will hire me. I'll price myself out of the market. That's bullshit. With my customers on virtual training, a lot of people, there's these flat rate turds out there that you can host your videos on. But watching videos doesn't make you train. Training requires 4 things: good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. You have to have those 4 things, or it's not training, it's just exposure. So most people, companies, you're exposing your employees, your team, you're exposing them to information, and you're acting like it's training when it's not. Training is good content, repetition, practice, and accountability. Letting you watch a video is exposure. You know, and I just bought a house. Well, I didn't buy it, I leased it, but I'm going to be buying a house. Maybe from that little fella running around here, I don't know. Maybe Good Time Tommy, where's he at? Somebody, I'm buying a house from somebody here. See what I mean? See what I mean? Relationships. But I leased a house here just to make my wife happy because she thinks everyone's going to be exchanging peach pies and going to the country fair and all that shit. I haven't had nobody come over with a peach pie. Nobody's even knocked on our door and said, "Oh, y'all the new neighbors?" Nothing. So again, so far I'm correct. Well, okay. But the funny part is I got a house down. I don't even know where I was going with that story. But I got a house down here. So I'm a local that lives here now. So whoever's local, how y'all doing? But back to building a brand. The key, which is the source of the content, most people miss altogether. Okay? You have to be the content. Don't try to think up content. Just be the content. What does that mean? That means you are the content. Don't try to think up what to say and what to do. Get a camera guy or girl. Mine's right there. Travels with me everywhere but the bathroom and the bedroom. Otherwise, I'd be a porn star. Trust me. However, he comes with me everywhere I go, so when I'm talking to you, it's being captured. When I'm talking on a Zoom call, when I'm talking on Closer School, when I'm talking on my podcast, when I'm talking to an employee, when I'm talking to my wife, when I'm talking to my kids, it's all being recorded. I'm not thinking, what should I say? I'm not thinking, what should I do to look cool or be cool? I'm just being me. It's being recorded. That is the source. So if you guys can just find yourselves, you can do that. Most people will never do that. I say, why don't you just film yourself? They go, well, why would anyone want to listen to me? What's the problem? No self-worth. Why would anyone want to listen to you? I wouldn't if you talk like that. It's all mindset. It's your mindset, folks. It's your perspective. The perspective is massive. They got this rich kid, they got this poor kid. They put them in a room full of horse shit, piled high. The rich kid is all mad about it. The poor kid's playing in the poop. They come back, they ask the rich kid, what's the problem? He says, what do you mean? You put me in a room full of shit. What the hell? Like, that's nonsense. We go to the poor kid and we say, what are you so happy about? He says, with all this poop, there must be a pony in here. Same exact situation, completely different perspective. So how's that possible? It's the same way when my dad said you can't go see Elvis because they're stopping us, and I looked over and saw openings and opportunities. It's a perspective. You just shift your perspective. One of the best ways that I've learned to shift my perspective is when I wake up in the morning and I have extreme gratitude. Like extreme gratitude. I smile every single morning. People always say, what's the first thing you do when you wake up? I smile. I open my eyes and I'm like, I get another one. Yee! I get another day. I don't need glitter shooting out of a unicorn's butt for it to be a good day. I wake up, it's a good day. And the question is how good is it going to get, right? But it's a good day, and it shifts my perspective. I used to wake up and just be like everybody else, and oh, I got car payments, and I got to go to work, and I got to do all this nonsense, and I'm focusing on the past, and I'm focusing on the problems. And so all I did was shifted my perspective. Why do you focus on those things? You guys realize what you focus on grows, right? And that's the truth. Like what you focus on grows. Go focus on something consistently, and you watch it grow, whether it's problems or whether it's, solutions. Whatever you focus on grows. So I just decided to shift my perspective and start focusing on optimism. You know what I mean? Like they say we're in a recession. I don't know what Rob said this morning. I assume he said something about money or the economy. Guys, we're not in a recession. That's total bullshit. You're all here. You all spent money to be here, right? There's no recession. I don't know who the big cabal is or whatever. I know it ain't Biden because he's like a freaking idiot. Somebody's lying to us. I'm okay with that. It doesn't matter. Why? Because I've never seen a time in history where the president determines what we all do every day. So I don't really care they say we're in a recession. I'm not even listening to it. We're not in a recession. I was just at Louis Vuitton. Holy moly, dude, there's lines to get in that store. The restaurants are full. Cars are full. I had to go buy my wife a car because we might be here a week, a year. And so I'm like, listen, babe, we just go get you a used car, you're not going to be here very often. She says, no, I don't really want to use one. I don't really like used cars. I'm like, stupid, but okay, let's go get you a new car. What do you want, like a Taurus or something? But no, she wants an SUV, so I start calling around, and I'm connected in the car business. There's no SUVs anywhere. You can't get them. Where are they all at? We're in a recession. Nobody should be buying that shit. Everybody's buying them. You guys are spending money to be here. There's no recession. Who went out to dinner last night? Raise your hand. You guys, we're in a recession. What are you doing? You guys hear about that hot dog vendor, by the way? Here's a story. Old man has a kid, sends him off to Harvard. It has nothing to do, so he opens up a little hot dog stand, buys the best hot dogs and the best condiments, and the best buns, and all of a sudden he's thriving. Business is booming. So he opens up another one, and business is booming. Pretty soon he's got 15, 20 hot dog stands all across the country. Man, he's just raking it in. His kid comes from Harvard, looks what's going on and says, Dad, what are you doing? Don't you know we're in a recession? He said, we are. He said, absolutely. He says, you don't need to spend that kind of money on buns. You better be prepared for the future. So he started changing the buns he was buying. He says, you don't need that meat. That's expensive meat right there. There's cheaper shit right there. We're in a recession, bro. You better stop, being so frivolous with your money. So Dad stopped buying the good hot dogs and stopped buying the good condiments. And pretty soon, business wasn't very good. So he went ahead and decided, we better shut a few of these carts down. Next thing you know, he was back down to one cart, looked at his kid and said, you're right, we are in a recession. We're not in a recession. What we're doing is we're allowing the obstacles to stop us. We don't have any belief in ourselves. We believe that the government is going to provide and or determine and or blah, blah, blah. And I already know that that's not the case. The government's not going to help you, and they're not going to hurt you. I mean, they're doing their best, but it isn't really going to work. Okay, it won't work if you don't let it happen. How do we make money? Relationships, right? Provide value. How does the government and whatever's going on in the world, how does recession or inflation or all that shit stop you from building a relationship? Can anybody tell me? It doesn't. So go out and build relationships. How do you build a relationship? You provide value first before you ask for any value. You send somebody some business. I had a guy one time tell me he can't find a job anywhere. He's put in applications everywhere. I said, well, just go to the mall. He says, they're hiring at the mall. I said, no, just go introduce yourself to people, find out what they do, and then you'll be able to, get a job with them doing whatever they do. He says, I don't understand. Walk up, says, hey, what do you do for a living? He says, I'm a dog groomer. If I send you some dogs to groom, would you give me a commission? Well, sure I would. Who here would give me a commission if I send you business? So how can we be in a recession? Look how much opportunity there is in this room. See what I'm saying? So you guys got to think of that for yourselves, for your own business. I know that some of you guys are in mortgages, some of you guys are doing insurance. Insurance, I started a company called Real Financial. We are blowing up. It's ridiculous. We got people making $100,000 a month in their underwear from home. I'm not even joking. I got a shirt coming out that says, work in your underwear, ask me how. But all we're doing is getting them leads. They're making calls. Guess what? People that are putting in the leads want life insurance. So we just call them and sell it to them over the phone. How many been in the insurance space a while? How many were told you can't sell over the phone? See what I mean? Like, that's limited. Stop believing this nonsense. You can sell over the phone. You got to call. Obviously know your product, have the ability to sell, influence, and persuade people. And you're crushing it. There's only 3 things that are going to stop you guys. Okay? 3 things. If you guys write these 3 things down and focus on these 3 things and understand what I'm saying when I say it and do nothing but focus on it over the next 6 months, your whole life will become 50 times better.
Hey, you want to spend an hour a week with me helping you become a business badass? Well, check out my group in the link below.
Mindset, skill set, habits. You're not making enough money, it's your mindset, it's your skill set, or it's your habits. If I hung around you nonstop for 24 weeks straight, you'll make more money if you do what I tell you to do. What would I tell you to do? Go out and introduce yourself to more people. Go provide value, build relationships, nurture relationships. When I wake up in the morning with that gratitude, I call it the $1 million morning, because if you think about it, if I gave you $1 million, you guys would be all jacked and excited and pumped up, right? You'd be walking out of here on cloud 9, running around, happy as hell. Nobody could shit in your Cheerios. You'd be pumped. Would you not? Yeah. I would be. Give me $1 million. Let's try it. So I'd be fired up. But if I said I'll give you $1 million, but you can't wake up in the morning, you'd be like, hell no. No one would do that. So you're saying that waking up is worth more than $1 million. But yet you don't wake up every single morning as if somebody handed you $1 million. See what I'm saying? If you yawn, you got to do push-ups. Give me 10. No, just joking. As you can tell, I don't know if you guys have followed me much, but I lost a little weight. I'm starting to get in shape a little bit. That's another thing. Again, it's all perspective. I used to associate being in shape with getting girls. And I don't want to get any more girls. I got a good one. And, I'm fine in that department. So I always used to associate, buff just means more girls. So why would I need more girls? I better not get buff. Then I realized if I can't even control what goes in my mouth or whether or not I get on a piece of exercise equipment, how the hell am I going to make $1 billion? I can't even control what goes in my mouth. That's crazy. We can't control what we do. Who's in charge if you're not? Think about that. Some of you guys might be thinking, well, I've been trying to lose weight. Guys, listen, you don't try. You do it or you don't do it. And guess who does it? And guess who gets to decide when that decision comes? You. And it isn't that difficult. It's uncomfortable, but it's not difficult. How many people know how to get in shape in here? Okay, if you're not raising your hand, I'm going to give you guys a secret. YouTube. There's something called YouTube. Type in there, diet, exercise, 6-pack abs, rock hard ass, whatever it is you're looking for. Okay, it's going to come up. There'll be so many people giving you advice. And let me tell you something, it all works. You just got to do it. It's like the treadmill I bought. That sumbitch didn't work for like 2 years. It was nuts. But just like getting in shape, same thing with your business. You don't want to introduce yourself. This is stupid. I feel stupid. What if it doesn't amount to anything? See what I'm saying? What if it doesn't work? That's what everybody's doing in the world. It makes 0 sense. And then we come to conferences like this, and we listen to people like Chuck and people that are out there doing it, and then we leave. We say, that was great. And then we go right back to doing what we were doing. Why? I believe because subconsciously, you don't think you're worth it. So when I started working out, I was tired. I didn't want to do it, trust me. But I shifted my perspective. And I started to ask myself, am I worth this nonsense? Yes, I am. So I kept going. And I kept going. And I'm still going. I literally am a month away from lifting up my shirt and showing abs. And trust me, I will when I got them. I like to be at the gym and find a reason to wipe the sweat off my brow with my shirt just so they can see the... But I don't have them quite yet. I got about another month to go. But I believe that I am worth it. And that's why things are opening up. You need to believe you're worth more than you do today. You need to believe that you actually deserve what it is you want. That's the only reason you don't have it currently. If you want to change what you're getting, you got to change what you're doing. If you want to change what you're doing, you got to change what you believe. And that's the truth. The only way to change what you're doing is to change what you believe. Anybody disagree with that? So how do we change what we believe? There's only one way to do it. You know what it is? Get new information. That's it. Get new information. Like if I told you fire didn't burn and you were a kid, and I taught my kid growing up that fire wasn't a problem, it won't burn you, that kid will eventually touch fire believing that it won't burn them. And then when it burns them, he got new information, didn't he? And then that would change his belief. So all we have to do, wake up every day and learn and grab a book or turn on a podcast. There's so much out there. Coach has like 192 books right now. Tori's got books. Like everyone you heard speaks got books. Chuck, you got a book yet? No. We need a book out of Chuck. We can call it Up Chuck. But the morning you wake up with that gratitude as if you got $1 million, and you focus on 4 things, okay? Focus on your health. Because without your health, guys, nothing matters. Trust me when I tell you. You focus on relationships because that's where everything matters. You focus on your money, okay? And then you focus on seeking new information so you can change your beliefs. Everything falls into those 3 buckets, folks. Your health, relationships, and money. I always ask, what doesn't fall in those buckets? And usually people, God, that's a relationship. Family, all the shit we've been told growing up to domesticate ourselves. It's all these excuses and reasons why it's not that simple. It is that simple. All of them go into those 3 buckets. Your health, your relationships, and your money. And here's what's crazy, dude. Listen to this. The healthier you get, believe it or not, the more money you will get. The more money you get, the more relationships you get. It's crazy. The richer I get, the more everybody wants to be my friend. So the more money you get, the more relationships you get. The more relationships you get, the more money you get. Then the more money you get, the more relationships you get. It just keeps going back and forth. You guys want to surround yourself with high net worth individuals, and you will eventually become one. Why? Because of the relationships. Someone asked me the other day, what's the difference between poor people or broke people and rich people? And I said relationships. If you're broke, you don't know the right people. You can't be around me and be broke. If you know me, you cannot be broke unless you want to be broke. I'll give you so many damn opportunities, it's ridiculous. If anybody wants an opportunity, by the way, just go to bradlee.com/let's go. You'll be selling insurance, or you'll be selling solar, or you'll be selling merchant services, or you'll be selling something. But I didn't say it was going to be nice and comfy and someone's just going to feed you money. But I can show anyone how to make $300,000 a year. And that's what you got to do so you can start to get out of the rat race. See what I'm saying? That's it. That's what you got to do, is you got to basically earn enough money to where it's not all gone at the end of the month. And now you can start investing. And I've just started learning about that. I spent my whole life spending money, trying to impress people, driving fancy shit I never should have been. If I could go back and get back all the money I spent trying to impress people, it'd be impressive. The amount of money I've blown. And again, nobody remembers that. I don't have anybody remember that 10 grand you spent that one night? Because I don't remember most of those nights anyway. However, here's what I do know, folks. Everybody in this room is worth more than you think you are. Okay, you just have to wake up and be aware of it, even if it means tricking yourself. Guys, it starts out very, very, very difficult, but consistently is what happens. I'll close with this. Okay, here's how you build that confidence. Number 1, you forgive yourself for everything you've done and everybody that's done shit to you. Just be happy. Okay, forgive yourself. Okay, number 2, you commit to do what you say you're going to do. Number 3, you start racking up the wins. How do you do that? Lower your goals. Quit setting such high goals where you come in short. Like, set goals a little bit lower so you come in So you win. Every day you win. Brushing your teeth, that's a win. Working out, that's a win. Calling one more customer, that's a win. Introducing yourself to 2 more people, that's a win. Who here can win every single day if they really wanted to? Exactly. So you just rack up the wins on a daily basis. And then you start walking around feeling a little better, feeling a little, more worthy. And you'll stand up a little taller, and you'll start looking around, and you'll start saying, dude, I deserve a better car. And then here's where step 4 comes in. People start going, who do you think you are? You think you're so cool. What makes you didn't even graduate high school. Which, by the way, I didn't even graduate high school. People ask me all the time, what college did you go to? I always say Yale. That's how Spanish people say jail. I said, I went to Yale. So if they ever said, did you say you went to Yale? I said, jail, fool. But you rack up the wins, and then step 4 is you get rid of all the negativity, guys. You got to block out everybody that talks any crap to you whatsoever and puts down anything that you're doing, you included. Negative self-talk will sabotage more people than you can't believe. Okay, then step 5, you want to visualize and map out exactly what success looks like. Most people don't know what their true vision of success is. They base it on somebody else, and that's why you get rich people committing suicide, because it wasn't money for them. Everybody's got a different idea of what success is. Don't worry about what I do or they do or someone else does. What do you think success looks like? And that may not be money. For me, money is definitely included. Okay? But you have to map out and visualize your goals. Okay, and then step 6, what do you think step 6 is? Seek that new information every single day. Folks, every single day you should be seeking new information. The only way to change your beliefs is to get new information, and it's out there, abundant. Books, podcasts, events, masterminds, coaching groups, workshops, they're out there. Spend the money. Don't be worried about, oh, well, what if I don't? If you're worried about not being able to get your money back because you made a stupid investment in some stupid course, folks, your mindset needs to shift. Shift your perspective. The people that you meet at those workshops, if you do it right, are potential business partners. Network of referrals. Might end up in a whole new business. Might end up in a whole new marriage. True. So I hope that touched some of you guys in a way that will wake you up. Because really, folks, how do you double your business, triple your business, quadruple your business, grow? You become a monster. And in order to become a monster, all you have to do is wake up, because you're already one. You guys are already worth $100 million. You're just not aware of it. That's my time, folks. I appreciate you guys.
You gotta sell some shit. Because if you come to this event to figure out, hey, what are some things I can pick up and start doing to blow up my business, scale my business, make a lot more money, etc., I'm going to share a couple things with you that works for me. But before I share those, I got to tell you, you got to sell something.